Hey everybody, welcome back to Stirring the Pot. Um, what I wanted to talk about today was just a reaction video. I don't own the copyrights to this video. I just hope it doesn't get taken down. But it just gives you a little bit of an insight of what's becoming of this world, um, how the left, these people, how sick-minded they are. They try to turn around and say that the Trump followers or the MAGA Republicans or whatever that we're the sick-minded people, but they're the ones that that wants violence. They don't care who gets hurt. They don't care if who dies. They don't. As long as their agenda, as long as their policies are going through, then that you know that their sources, that they stay in power. You know, So here, this is a theme from Piers Morgan that I seen. So this is only going to be a small clip of this guy right here. His name is Destiny. I don't really know too much about him. I tried looking into him. He's somebody on Twitter, and I just couldn't believe the things that came out of his mouth right now. Um, it's a sad thing to know that there's people out there that think like this guy. So just hold on one second and let me click on this, and then just give you a small um, part of this conversation that they're having. And here we go.
Look, you've been at the centre, as you know, of a massive online response to what you were saying, and I want to go through what you said, and I want to talk to you about this in a hopefully in a calm manner to try and understand what you were thinking. So,
Looking at the smirk on his face, you can tell this guy right here is a total jerk. He's probably one of these kids that were nerds growing up, got picked on a lot, and just happens to be a smart guy. So he uses his words to make him feel big, to make him feel important. But just looking at this guy right here, you could just tell that he is not someone that you want to be friends with. And if you're sponsoring this dude, I don't know what to say because this is a totally sick person.
on Saturday evening, hours after the shooting, you said, let me clarify, when I say conflicted, what I mean is I lean towards seeing it as a natural extension of the thing Trump and the MAGA kids support. So I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt enough to chastise people celebrating it. You couldn't find it in your heart to chastise people for celebrating the near assassination of a man who was president of the United States and maybe again?
Absolutely not. Conservatives have completely bled that well dry. And the idea that they, after engaging in the most divisive and most extreme rhetoric that this country has seen in recent history, that they would come on and beg for sympathy, that it's escalated into some kind of violent confrontation is absolutely insane. Even the idea right now of saying, well, if you call somebody a Nazi for so long, it's, what do you expect people to do? I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh call Obama a communist every single day he was on the
See, this right here just tells you who this guy is automatically. You know, to criticize conservatives and not for saying that we use this stuff enough that there's no pity from them. Well, it's the same thing with these Democrats and these liberals. They do the exact same thing. They use one story over and over again to get people to feel sorry for them or to feel sorry for their party, just so that you can get votes. But the thing is, this guy has no remorse at all for anything that what happened.
radio. You've got conservatives that talk about how the mRNA vaccines were ways to sneak microchips into us. You've got COVID lockdowns that were done because the government was
Okay, first of all, I've never heard anybody saying that these vaccinations, that there was a way of slipping in microchips into us. There's no way. It's impossible. They can't just slip things into people just to do it. It's ridiculous. But then again, this is a liberal lunatic right here.
trying to take all your freedom away. They won't acknowledge anything that happened on January 6th. They say that the election was stolen and that your country is being taken from you.
Okay, first off, if it being election stolen, think about it, man. How are you going to be losing by a few million votes, and then all of a sudden, overnight you win by 10 million votes? Like, come on, it's obvious. There was already a lot of proof, but that's over with. That was 4 years ago.
Like, I don't think anybody should be killed. I don't think anybody should go out and kill anybody. But when you engage in this type of rhetoric and when you turn the temperature up over and over and over and over again, there is absolutely no room for
But
you
you
to be
say-
shocked
okay,
or
but you
surprised.
say-
And there
okay.
certainly isn't room for you to
Wait,
ask for sympathy.
But you
These
say
things are not
you,
equal.
but Destiny,
Unhinged.
you say you don't want anybody.
Okay, just watch right here, Dave Rubin, and this person right here. I forgot her name, but just look at their face expressions and look at Pierce Morgan's face expression. When what this guy's going to say, it's moronic.
Killed, and yet you say, I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt to chastise people celebrating it. People celebrating the near assassination of Donald Trump. If you can't find it in you to chastise people who do that, aren't you just as despicable as the people you've just spent the last 2 minutes haranguing?
No, because they've
Yes,
led
he
the
is.
way. This is the environment that they've created.
So you just
if
so you
somebody-
think
there
behaving
is
like
a-
the people you think are despicable is the correct course of action?
Okay, watch them two right there to your right. Just watch their face expression.
What about behaving like the people who are despicable would be leading that type of rhetoric? It would be denying every single
You're the
bad thing.
reason
How
that
many
people
times
do
as a
the things
liberal?
that they do,
How
though?
many times as a liberal have you been on a show? Not you in general, but like a liberal been on a show and you've been forced to disavow all of the BLM riots, disavow all of the violence and blah blah blah, and then you talk to
Yeah,
conservatives about it.
disavowing
January 6th,
violence,
that was
that's
a false
good.
flag.
Yeah.
January 6th. Oh, like conservatives disavow January 6th?
Wait. First off, there's an entire cultural machine that has lied. There is an entire culture.
See, there you go. That's all they do. They think that they have the upper hand when they say stuff like that. But January 6th, we all know that was like an inside job. Nancy Pelosi already said that she screwed up. You know, Trump already said that he had extra help. They denied him. Nancy Pelosi denied him. And so it's a fix. That one was fixed. It's obvious. But this moron right here wants to turn around and make light of it, you know. But look at the reaction of Kirsten Morgans and Dave Rubin and the young lady to your right.
Real time. That's it.
What?
That's
So
why
what?
conservatives deserve absolutely zero sympathy for anything that happens as a result of their rhetoric. That's it. It's
What rhetoric is he talking about? What is it? That the fact that the liberals, the liberal media, the Democrats are calling Trump a racist, calling him a Nazi, calling him a dictator, calling him all these things. You know, they try to break this man down, but you know they're not going to win. But this is the rhetoric that they spend, that they throw at people, that makes them, you know, try to get sympathy. You know, but this guy right here, he's probably just a mama and daddy's boy. Probably, you know, yeah, he looks like he has his own place or whatever, but obviously he hasn't got his butt kicked at all. I mean, this guy's sick. These liberals are sick people. And I'm sorry, I'm not racist in any way, but you know, these white liberals, they're just disgusting. They're vile. They're uncompassionate. And they're sick in the head. It's only obvious.
so easy. Like
Okay,
it's so simple.
Okay, but look,
I'm not
Destiny,
exactly sure what he's talking about, but I would say this is the type of person that the internet has broke their brain, thus leaving them with very little empathy for their co-human. I mean, a good, decent father is now dead because of this. He's had his brains blown out because he was defending his wife and daughter. I would hope that you have a little empathy
well,
for
actually,
that.
I can. Well, I can.
He deserved that.
Well, let me
Yeah.
jump.
Watch. This is where it gets bad with that guy Destiny. Just this guy disgusts me, really.
Let me jump in there because we have a clip of what Destiny has said about that very thing. Let's listen to this.
Fuck it, fuck the dude, the firefighter guy, fuck Trump, fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay, just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, you don't, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, you know, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am.
Making fun of you. You don't care. This just shows the type of people they are. They do. It's just showing the type of person they are. And obviously, this guy must have got his feelings hurt somewhere down the line, or must have got embarrassed by somebody that he has all this disdain toward conservatives. But it's sad. It's totally sad to say that he didn't care whether anybody that follows Trump or a conservative gets shot or gets killed in events like that. So it's just to show where, where this country is going with these type of people. Joe Biden's always lecturing us that he's a unifier, but all he's done is divide us. The Democratic Party, all they've done is divide us, separate us, make us feel like, we're inferior to them. And then you got spoiled brats like this guy right here making disgusting comments like this.
100%.
I mean, I got to say, I just found that repulsive, Destiny. Yeah,
I wish that there is no room. There is no room for the hand wringing, and I will not participate in this anymore.
Oh, it's not hand wringing.
In the hand wringing. No,
not
it
hand wringing.
Absolutely is.
No, it's just that
Jen just
you are
called you out on
positioning
it
yourself.
So well.
No, but
Destiny,
let me explain to you.
Where conservatives can say anything.
No, I'm not a conservative.
They can have any conspiracy theories.
I'm not a conservative.
They can have any plot. They can do anything, and then.
Okay, this is one thing about these liberal people. Like on TikTok, I've seen some of these videos with this guy named Polypolitic 3 or something like that. They're all the same. And it's just like that kid Wally, the one that came onto the Piers Morgan show not that long ago. These guys, you cannot get a word in with them. You cannot convince them that what they're saying is wrong, even though they probably know it in their heart, but they're always going to be right. They don't give you a chance to explain. They don't want to hear anything. They don't want to hear logic. They're going off of their pure hatred toward Donald Trump, or they're just pure hatred toward conservatives. And this guy's like living proof of what evil looks like. So I don't know. I really don't know what to say, but let's continue hearing this.
And then liberals are supposed to sit here and be like, "Oh my God, it's so tragic."
No, Destiny.
Absolutely not.
Let me explain.
Absolutely.
Let me explain my position, because I'm not a conservative. I'm not on either side in your race, right? Here's what I think about what you did. You'd like to fire off, as you've done so far in this debate, about your fury at how disgusting Republicans are, how inhumane they are, how they never have any empathy, blah, 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 blah. And then you yourself actually are exactly the person that you're describing. You are inhuman. You are somebody who seems almost gleeful that a young firefighter with a family, with a wife and children, who he was protecting as he was shot dead, that he deserved what was coming to him because he went to a President Trump rally, a man who was president of the United States until recently for 4 years and maybe again. You sound almost gleeful, Destin, and I'm sorry, that makes you, frankly, despicable.
I don't think I'm gleeful about anything. I don't think anybody should die. I don't think anybody deserves to die. But you want to talk about gleeful? Look at the conservative response to Pelosi's husband when they broke in.
I can answer that.
Mainstream media figures
I can answer that.
I don't care.
I can answer that.
With all due respect, I don't care what your answer is.
Let me answer that.
The reality is that conservatives have been turning the temperature up on the rhetoric. They have been making fun of these types of events for years, and now when something happens to them, now they're looking for sympathy from the liberal side. Absolutely not. It's insane. It's unhinged that you can conduct yourself in such a manner and expect people to feel.
I swear to God that these guys live in a delusional multi-universe that they just think that we're such the bad guys. You know, like he said, no one that doesn't deserve to die, but at the same time, he's saying that guy got what he deserved for being there, and he has no sympathy for that. So I wonder if the shoe was on the other foot, that if it was his parents or someone that he loved was at a Democratic Party and something was to happen to, like, you know, to the same extent of what happened at Trump's rally the other day, is he going to be saying the same thing? Is he going to be saying, oh, I don't give a crap if my mom or my dad died, or my sister or my brother, or, you know, whoever it may be, because they shouldn't have been there, you know? It's amazing. It's amazing how disgusting these people are.
Sorry when things happen.
Why should anybody on the right listen to a word of your hectoring and lecturing about how they should behave? And by the way, for the record, the mockery of Nancy Pelosi's husband when he was attacked by an intruder with a hammer was also despicable, right? I can see despicable behavior on all sides, and I'm happy to call it out when I see it. You, however, want to present yourself as this great kind of standard bearer of decency, who sees outrageous behavior on the right time and again and is incensed by this disgusting, inhumane behavior. And yet again, since the attempted assassination of Donald Trump...
There he goes. He's just going to try and deny it. He's going to have some kind of excuse. And it's only obvious what they're doing, the left, those type of people. They talk about injustice. They talk about there's no fairness when it's regarding them. But if you go and you look at all these protesters, it's all the same people just like him. They don't want to hear anything. They're right. And, you know, you can't prove these people wrong. And it's disgusting, you know. And oh my God, I'm just like kind of lost for words right now with this whole conversation with this dude. He's just a smug punk kid, probably spends his day, you know, playing games, and he's probably a paid puppet for the Democratic Party. I mean, sickening.
You have displayed exactly the same kind of inhumane behavior. Fuck him about a fireman who is killed because he attends a rally of a guy he wants to vote for.
My issue with the MAGA kids is not that they are not empathetic. My issue is that they support a president that led an insurrection against the United States. I'm not here to tone police over their empathy.
18 million people.
Okay, he's turning around and saying that he can't be sympathetic for someone who supposedly supports a president. That what he just said right now about Trump. But come on, you're trying to defend a president that let 10 million illegal immigrants in here. They're trying to let them vote, knowing that you can't do that in the United States because you have to be a U.S. citizen to vote in the federal level. You know, he wants to say all these things to make us look bad, but yet they're doing the same thing, exact same thing. But even worse. It's even worse. I mean, look at Joe Biden. He's a liar. He plagiarizes like speeches like up the yang. He's a racist. They can't say that he's not a racist. If you look back at a lot of the old videos of him, he says the N-word. He calls them animals, you know. So you're going to support a rapist. Even in his daughter's diary, she talked about how he took showers with her. Dude, you can take showers with your kids when they're babies and holding them, but you don't take showers once they hit a certain stage in life. You can't do that. And then he sniffs little girls. He tries to kiss them on the cheeks. He tries grabbing Eva Longoria's breast. That one, one of the things that he had, you know, a rally, I think it was. He tried doing it like last year or this past year. He tried doing that. So you mean to tell me that it's okay for Biden to do all this stuff and you guys to continue to vote for him, in which he doesn't give a crap about the blacks or the Hispanics or the Mexicans or Chicanos? It's crazy. It's pure idiotic way of thinking from this guy.
Voted for Donald Trump last time around.
That's great. 80 million people voted for a guy that tried to insurrect the government, and it looks like they might try to do it again. I mean, like, I don't know what you want me to say. These are the facts on the ground. The idea that
you don't like attacks on democracy. So presumably you would unreservedly condemn the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, because that's one of the most egregious attacks on American democracy of modern times. Presumably,
I don't think that
you will
anybody
take this opportunity, given you are so determined to protect the integrity of democracy, you would find it absolutely outrageous that someone has tried to assassinate a president, right?
If the other conservatives on this show want to say that it was absolutely outrageous that Donald Trump attempted to coup the government, then maybe I would. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get on my knees and beg for forgiveness or show sympathy to conservatives.
I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you to condemn what happened as an egregious attack on democracy. Can you do that?
No, I won't. No, I won't.
You can't do that. You see, so why the hell, frankly, Destiny,
absolutely not.
Why the hell should we listen to a word you have to say about...
Why do you think conservatives haven't been listening to a word that liberals have said about anything for 8 years?
Right,
what do you think is going to change? Do you think that liberals come out now and they go, oh...
Because everything that the liberals spits out is pure nonsense. Okay? They're just as bad in conspiracy theories just as they say about the right. But dude, come on, you have to really think about this. You know, you cannot compare them to. At least we're trying to unify. At least we think and we care about other people, regardless if they're in a different political party. We show sympathy. But the liberals, the right, the Democrats, they don't show any sympathy. They just don't care about the American people. They only care about themselves. Like, this guy's probably a paid goon from the Democrats or from the liberals, George Soros or whoever it may be. So this is why this guy's acting the way he is. He's no Howard Stern. He's no Don Imus. You know, he's not a Rush Limbaugh. He's not these like shock jocks that he thinks he is. He's just a nerdy kid who lives at home. I don't know if he still lives in his mom and dad's basement, whatever it is, but this guy is atrocious. This guy's disgusting. And all I can say is, like, what comes around goes around. And we're just going to see what's going to happen with this guy later on in life. We don't know. I wish him the best, but what he's spewing out now, it's sickening.
Oh my God, this was so horrible.
But here's
You think
my
they're gonna
point.
go, wow, that is true. Maybe
Hey,
that
wait a
Donald
second.
should also like
Charlie,
turn the rhetoric down a
Charlie,
little
I'll bring you in at the end of this. I promise you, and you'll get a good chance.
I don't know. I don't know about this dude. I swear I do not know about this guy.
Respond. But here's my problem, Destiny, with your whole position on this, right? Is that you don't actually have anything inside you that you want the other side to have. You don't have any of the empathy. You don't have any sympathy. You don't care that someone tried to assassinate
I'm not
Donald Trump.
asking for
You don't
empathy
care
and
that a young
sympathy. You don't-
fireman
you
with a
don't need any
family
of that.
was
I'm not
killed in the
asking for that.
process. You don't
Just don't
actually.
support an
You are not
insurrectionist.
the person you want these other people to be, and all you do is play whataboutery with every question I give you. And I'm just startled.
It's
that
not
some-
what about it? We're talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about the temperature of this country. But here's a question for the two panelists. What percentage of this event happening was due to Donald Trump's rhetoric? What do they think the answer to that question is?
What percentage could it be that the other side, as we've just heard from Dave Rubin, has spent 8 years calling Donald Trump the new Adolf Hitler, a person who was responsible for the murder of 12 million people, including 6 million Jewish people in a Holocaust? Last time I checked, Donald Trump hasn't murdered 12 million people. So much as you would like him to be the new Hitler, he's not. But again, to an impressionable, young, deranged mind who has easy access to guns, that can be easily interpreted as an existential threat, said President Biden. Somebody that needs to be put in the bullseye, said Biden.
Okay,
only last
I'm
week.
curious.
And
Who
guess
do you
what?
think- who
Guess
do you
what?
think- who do
Somebody
you think
then
is
comes
engaged in
forward
more
and
divisive-
tries to.
Okay, enough with this guy. I'm just getting irritated. I can't stand his tone of voice. I can't stand anything about this guy. This guy's totally disgusting. And no matter what Pierce Morgan says, it doesn't matter what Dave Rubin says or that young lady says. This idiot is not going to listen. He's not going to care. These liberals, they're just sick in their minds. They are so sick with and deluded that Trump is this bad guy. At first it took me a while to like Trump, but I didn't like him as a person when he had his TV show, and I didn't know whether he was going to be a good president when he decided to run. But my mom seemed to like him before. She never had the opportunity to vote, but my mom was rooting for him to win. And it's just crazy that these people are trying to demonize Donald Trump. And like I said, I didn't like him at first. And when I did vote for him. But you know what? This is how I see it. When I first voted for him in 2016, this is what I used to tell people. I voted for him because we need change. He is not a political guy. He's outside from what they're accustomed to. He's a stranger, and if he fails, he fails. I can't say nothing about it. That goes on me. But if he turns around and he succeeds and does what he said he's going to do for this country, then we voted for the right person. I was a Democrat. I was a Democrat my whole entire life, but I got off that gravy train when the whole thing happened with Clinton, and I started seeing changes. And then it got even worse when Obama went into office. That's when I knew that the Democratic Party was not the same party that I remember growing up and what I witnessed. So I don't believe what this guy is saying, that, or any of these liberals that are saying it's Donald Trump's fault that he got shot. And I have a hard time believing that 20-year-old kid is a Republican. That's almost like saying that Biden wants to get shot because of all the things that he said. And like I said, the Democratic Party don't care about the blacks. They don't care about the brown people. They don't care about any of us. They make these promises. They sucker us in, like I mentioned before, about the social contract, where the government says, rely on us, come to us, and we'll give you guys back, but you have to follow us and you got to surrender your will to us. So And these people, that's how they win. This is how these people think, just so they can stay in power. Now, just going back to that firefighter, that father. I mean, me and him are almost the same age. I think I'm older than him by 3 years. But the thing is that this should have never happened because the Secret Service failed. Securing that area, that building that the young man was on. The police there failed because if an officer had seen that kid and followed him to the roof, and when supposedly that kid turned around and pointed the rifle at him, that police officer dropped instead of engaging. So what's the purpose of being a police officer if you're supposed to serve and protect? But the liberals are never gonna admit to it, and they're gonna turn around and continue to say this is Donald Trump's fault. This is Donald Trump's fault. What the fault is the liberals, it's the Democrats, it's the liberal media, all the fake news who demonize Trump over the years. They don't see him as a human being. They don't see him as a grandfather, a husband. They don't see him anything other than this so-called devil and this dictator, someone that started the insurrection. So it's just ridiculous and it's crazy. And I hope and I pray for that kid right there, man. He's lost, and I hope he finds his way soon. I wouldn't wish anything to happen to him, but I do think that this kid probably needs to get his mouth smacked by someone from that family, just so that kid won't disrespect that man ever again. I mean, it's sad that family lost their father, but I tell you, man, this is crazy. I can't believe the things that came out of this guy's mouth. I don't know where this country is heading to, but I do know that I'm voting again this year. And I registered now as a Republican. I was on the F because I was independent after I left the Democratic Party. But now I'm a Republican and I'm for Trump. Chicanos for Trump. That's all I can say. And Piers Morgan and Dave Rubin and that young lady there, they tried, but they're not going to get into this guy's head because he's just so deranged in his mind. He is. And with that, I want to thank everybody for joining me. If you like the video, just push, click on like. If you want to subscribe. And hopefully in time, I do get better with this and come up with better things. But I just hope I don't have copyrights to this video of Piers Morgan. I hope they don't take it down. But with that, you guys have a great day, and thank you for joining me again.